Have you ever been around someone who seems friendly, yet deep down something feels off? They smile, they speak kindly, but there's something in their eyes, in their tone, that triggers a quiet unease inside you. This is not paranoia. This is your intuition sounding the alarm on a truth your mind has yet to grasp. In Stoicism, we cannot control the thoughts or emotions of others, but we can control how we respond to them. Epictetus once said, "If someone speaks ill of you, do not defend yourself. Simply smile and know they are revealing more about themselves than about you." A person may try to conceal their hatred, but the truth always finds a way to escape. Through subtle glances, forced laughter, backhanded compliments, and small yet telling actions you might have overlooked. In this video, I will expose the unmistakable signs that someone close to you secretly resents you. And when you recognize the truth, don't react with anger or hurt. React like a Stoic. Observe with reason, face it with calm, and remain in full control of yourself. If you're ready to develop an unshakable mindset and rise above negativity, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications right now. Stoicism doesn't just help you see the truth, it makes you unstoppable. Sign 1. Contempt disguised as sarcasm. Hatred rarely presents itself in plain sight. No one stands before you and declares, "I don't like you." Instead, they hide their contempt in sarcasm, in offhanded remarks that only the observant can recognize. Have you ever noticed someone who constantly teases you, but never anyone else? They mock your interests, your goals, even the way you speak or dress. But the moment you show discomfort, they laugh and say, "Oh, come on, don't be so sensitive. It's just a joke." The problem is not in a single comment, but in the repetition, a consistent pattern of targeting things they know matter to you. In Stoicism, we cannot control the words of others, but we can control our response. Epictetus once said, "No one can harm you unless you allow it." If someone uses sarcasm to bring you down, observe rather than react. These people cannot hide the satisfaction in their eyes when they see you uncomfortable, or the forced smile when their remark is exposed for what it truly is. Another clear sign of disguised contempt is how personal the sarcasm becomes. These are not harmless jokes. They are calculated digs. When you achieve something, they don't congratulate you. Instead, they say, "Well, that was lucky." When you share your ambitions, they laugh, "Do you really think you can pull that off?" Sarcasm isn't just words, it is a weapon designed to make you doubt yourself. But a Stoic does not waver. When you recognize this behavior, remain steady. Don't argue. Don't defend yourself. Smile with composure. When a joke no longer provokes a reaction, the game loses its power. A person with a strong sense of self does not measure their worth by the words of others, but by how they conduct themselves. If someone continues testing your patience with repeated sarcastic remarks, pay attention. They cannot hide the frustration when you do not react as they expect. That is when you realize they need your pain to feel powerful. But a Stoic never allows that. They choose control, resilience, and a mind that remains untouchable. Sign 2. Subtle sabotage. Have you ever felt like someone around you is always making things just a little harder than they should be? Not through open hostility or harsh words, but through small, calculated actions. A piece of advice that sounds helpful but leads you astray. A crucial detail that was accidentally left out right when you needed it. Or words of encouragement that somehow plant seeds of doubt rather than confidence. This is not carelessness. This is subtle sabotage, where the illusion of help is merely a disguise for slowing you down, for making you fail without even realizing who is behind it. These people don't need to block your path directly. They just need to create enough small disruptions to make you lose momentum, to make you start doubting yourself. Remember, sabotage always has a pattern. It doesn't happen just once. It happens in a series of suspicious coincidences. Maybe it's a coworker who always forgets to forward that important email, a friend who gives advice that somehow steers you off course, or a family member who tells you to play it safe every time you try to step outside your comfort zone. Once might be an accident, but when it happens repeatedly, it's intentional. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When you understand the nature of something, it no longer has power over you." A Stoic does not allow themselves to be thrown off course by those who seek to undermine them. They observe, they take note, but they do not react impulsively. When you recognize that someone is deliberately slowing you down, stop relying on them. Don't waste energy confronting them. Just make sure they no longer hold any influence over your path. But subtle sabotage is only one form of hidden hostility. Some people won't settle for just holding you back. They feel the need to outshine you at every turn. And that brings us to the next sign: silent competition. Sign 3. Silent competition. Have you ever shared good news with someone, only to have them immediately respond with something like, "Oh, that's nothing, I did something even better"? Or, when you achieve something, they quickly mention one of their own accomplishments, as if your success only matters if it can be compared. If this sounds familiar, you may be dealing with a subtle but very real form of hidden resentment. Silent competition. Someone who truly cares about you will celebrate your success. They won't feel threatened by your achievements because they understand that happiness and growth are not a zero-sum game. Your win doesn't mean their loss. But for those who secretly envy you, you are not allowed to outshine them. The signs of silent competition are subtle but noticeable if you pay attention. If every time you share something positive, they immediately shift the focus to themselves, it's not empathy, it's an attempt to reclaim the spotlight. If they congratulate you half-heartedly or try to downplay your achievements, it may not be that they don't care. It may be that they don't want you to rise above them. Epictetus once said, "Only those who are uncertain of their own worth fear being overshadowed by others." A Stoic does not need validation from others to feel whole. If you recognize someone who constantly tries to outdo you, let them win, not because you are weaker, but because you refuse to play their game. Life is not a race against others. You only need to focus on your own path, and when you do that, their competition becomes meaningless. Have you ever encountered someone like this? If this story sounds familiar to you, comment 1 below and let me know you've experienced it too. Sign 4. Superficial support. Have you ever achieved something big, a career breakthrough, a personal milestone, and expected those close to you to be happy for you, only to be met with silence or indifference? Maybe it's a half-hearted nod, a lukewarm, "Oh, that's nice," or worse, they change the subject immediately, as if your success isn't even worth discussing. This isn't just ordinary detachment. This is a sign of superficial support, a hidden feeling that people try to mask, but one that inevitably leaks through their actions. Some people play the role of a supportive friend when you're struggling, but the moment you start rising, they feel threatened. They don't necessarily want you to fail, but they also don't want to see you surpass them. A lack of genuine happiness for your success is a subtle but unmistakable sign. When someone truly cares about you, they don't have to fake their joy, they actually feel it. If they are only present when you struggle but become distant or indifferent when you accomplish something significant, ask yourself, do they really want what's best for you? Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not seek approval from those who fail to see your true worth." A Stoic does not need the validation of others to feel whole. But they observe, they understand, and they know who truly stands by them. People who can't celebrate your success may not be your enemies, but they are not your allies either. And the most important thing, you don't need them to keep moving forward. But this is just the tip of the iceberg. The next signs are even more subtle and far more dangerous. Stay with me, because these are truths you cannot afford to ignore. Sign 5. Control disguised as caring. Some people don't need to shout at you to make you feel small. They don't need to give you direct orders. Instead, they disguise their control as concern. They act like they only want the best for you. But if you pay close attention, you'll notice their care never makes you stronger. It only makes you doubt yourself. They question every decision you make, not to help you think critically, but to make you feel not ready, not capable enough. When you share your goals, they don't support you. Instead, they say, "Are you sure? I just don't want you to be disappointed." When you want to try something new, they warn, "I don't think that's a good idea, but hey, it's your choice." Their words sound like concern, but they are actually a way to control you. A Stoic understands that no one decides their path but themselves. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Be like a rock that waves crash upon. They break against it, but it remains unshaken." If someone constantly makes you feel small, don't argue with them. Prove them wrong through action. A strong mind does not need anyone's permission to walk its own path. Remember, true advice empowers you. It doesn't take away your confidence. If someone only makes you feel dependent on them, they may not want to help you. They may just want to control you. If you've made it this far in the video, I truly appreciate your time and engagement. If you found this valuable, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss future videos on building mental strength and stoicism. Thank you for watching. Sign 6. Gossip and slander. When your enemies won't face you directly, have you ever felt like something was off, but you couldn't quite put your finger on it? A friend who used to be close suddenly becomes distant. A group of colleagues turns cold. You notice whispers stop the moment you walk into a room. Subtle but undeniable signs that a wall is being built between you and others. When this happens without any clear reason, be cautious. Someone may be spreading rumors about you behind your back. People who secretly resent you often lack the courage to confront you directly. They don't want an open argument where you could defend yourself. Instead, they choose to attack when you're not present, twisting the truth, spreading half-truths, or planting doubt in others' minds. They might not outright call you a bad person, but they know how to frame questions in a way that makes others question you. They may not invent blatant lies, but they subtly alter the narrative just enough to let the listener fill in the blanks, usually in a way that damages your reputation. And the most dangerous part? You often don't realize it's happening until the consequences are already in motion. These people understand that your reputation is a powerful weapon, and they will use it to weaken you without ever having to confront you directly. In the workplace, they may quietly imply that you're unreliable or unqualified. In personal relationships, they plant the idea that you're selfish, fake, or have bad intentions. They drive people away from you without ever making a direct accusation. A Stoic does not panic over gossip. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Do not waste time worrying about what others say about you. Focus on living by your principles and let the truth speak for itself." So, what should you do if you find out someone is spreading lies about you? You don't need to chase down every rumor to defend yourself. You don't need to expose the gossipers. That's exactly what they want, because when you lose control, you give them more proof to validate their claims. Instead, continue living by your values. Your integrity will speak for itself. The people who matter will recognize the truth, and those who are easily manipulated by slander are not the kind of people you need in your life anyway. However, don't mistake staying calm for ignoring reality. A Stoic is not indifferent to the world around them. If your reputation is being seriously damaged and it could affect your career or personal life, respond wisely, not through confrontation, but by strengthening your value in the eyes of those who truly matter. Slander only has power if you let it control your mind. When you understand yourself and live by your own principles, no false rumor will ever be able to defeat you. Sign 7. They can't be happy for your success. Have you ever shared good news, an achievement, a milestone, or a moment of happiness, only to be met with an oddly cold response? A half-hearted nod, an unenthusiastic, "Oh, that's nice," or worse, a long, uncomfortable silence. When someone truly cares about you, they celebrate your success as if it were their own. But when someone secretly envies or resents you, they can't hide their discomfort when they see you moving forward. They may not openly say anything negative, but the forced tone in their voice, their lack of eye contact, or their half-hearted reaction speaks volumes. These people react in different ways. They immediately change the subject, as if your success isn't worth acknowledging. They downplay your achievement, saying, "That's not a big deal," or "You just got lucky." They shift the attention to themselves, boasting about something they did to overshadow your moment. A Stoic understands that how people react to your success reveals more about them than about you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "When someone reacts negatively to you, that is their problem, not yours. So what should you do? Don't waste your time trying to make them happy for you. Someone who genuinely cares will be proud of you without having to fake it. If someone can't celebrate with you, it simply means they lack the strength to accept the success of others. Instead of seeking validation from those who can't give it, focus on the people who truly show up for you. Success is not a competition, and a Stoic mind needs no one's approval but its own." Sign 8. Body language and hidden signals. Some things don't need to be said out loud. They reveal themselves through eye contact, tone of voice, and small, unconscious movements that people can't control. When someone secretly resents you, they may cover it up with kind words, but their body tells the real story. Have you ever felt a handshake that lacked warmth, a forced smile, or an evasive glance when you were talking? That's not just coincidence. When someone dislikes you but tries to hide it, their body language will betray them. Watch for these signs. Avoiding eye contact or breaking it quickly. When people respect you, they make eye contact, but if they always look away or only meet your gaze for a second, they might be hiding their true feelings. A forced smile. A genuine smile reaches the eyes, but if they smile at you while the rest of their face remains stiff, they might just be putting on a mask. Creating physical distance. If someone unconsciously leans away when you talk, crosses their arms when you approach, or keeps a noticeable gap between you and them, they are building a barrier, both physically and emotionally. Tension in their movements. Someone hiding their discomfort might show it through clenched fists, gripping an object tightly, or stiff shoulder movements. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The body and mind reflect each other. A dishonest soul cannot hide forever." A Stoic understands that people can lie with words, but they rarely control their body's natural reactions. When you pay attention to these signals, you'll see who truly values you and who is only pretending. But most importantly, don't let these reactions shake your confidence. Remember, their emotions are their problem, not yours. A Stoic does not alter themselves to please those who resent their success. If you notice these signs in someone around you, observe but do not react. A strong mind does not seek confrontation. It simply sees reality for what it is and keeps moving forward. Sign 9. They constantly undermine you in front of others. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone casually dropped a comment that seemed harmless but left you feeling belittled? It might be a sarcastic remark about your appearance, skills, or success, but it's always disguised as a joke or just honest feedback. People who genuinely respect you don't feel the need to put you down to make themselves seem better. But when someone secretly dislikes you, they will find ways to diminish your value, especially in front of others. These behaviors can take many forms, mocking your weaknesses. But when you react, they laugh and say, "You're too sensitive, it was just a joke." Downplaying your success, saying things like, "Anyone could have done that," or "You just got lucky," bringing up stories that make you look bad, even if they don't seem relevant, just to plant a negative perception of you in others' minds. A Stoic does not let such comments shake them, but they don't ignore the truth either. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Greatness does not need to be proven, it is obvious to those who have the wisdom to see it." If someone feels the need to diminish your worth to elevate themselves, it says more about them than it does about you. So what should you do? Don't fall into their trap. These people want you to react, to argue, or to lose your composure so they can say, "See, I told you they were like this." Don't give them that power. Instead, let your composure speak for itself. A Stoic does not prove their worth through words. They prove it through actions, through calmness, and by refusing to let negative people take up space in their mind. Remember, you don't have to shrink yourself to make others feel bigger. A strong mind remains steady, unshaken by those who can only build themselves up by tearing others down. Recognizing these signs isn't about becoming paranoid or living in fear of those around you. On the contrary, it's about taking back control over your own life. So you are no longer manipulated by those who harbor resentment and envy. We cannot change how others feel about us, but we can choose how we respond. A Stoic does not allow their mind to be controlled by those who do not truly care for them. Instead of seeking validation from people who try to diminish you, focus on becoming the strongest version of yourself. Remember, inner strength is something no one can take from you, unless you allow it. When you recognize who genuinely supports you and who merely hides their resentment behind kind words, you will know where to invest your time, energy, and emotions. Every day you have two choices: live to please those who were never truly on your side, or live by your own values without asking for permission. A Stoic mind always chooses the latter.